Good morning and welcome to another episode of Coffee and Tea with AARP Connecticut. My name is Anna Doroghazi and I am one of the Associate State Directors for Advocacy and Outreach with AARP Connecticut. And I am joined today by two terrific guests. First, I would like to introduce Reggie Stankaitis, one of our wonderful AARP Connecticut volunteers from Cromwell. Reggie volunteers with our Advocacy and Fraud Watch Network volunteer teams, and she also devotes time to advocating for people with Parkinson's disease. Hi, Reggie.
Nice to see you.
And then our special guest for today is Daniel Beem. Daniel currently serves as the Community Ombudsman Manager, spearheading the development of this new initiative within the Long-Term Care Ombudsman Program, known as the Community Ombudsman Program. Daniel has a master's degree in social work and has years of valuable experience in offering assistance to individuals within the aging and disability communities. His experience as the Money Follows the Person and Connecticut Home Care Program Manager for the Agency on Aging South Central, where he helped individuals transition from institutionalized settings back into the community. And for the past 4 years, Daniel has been a regional long-term care ombudsman. In that role, he worked tirelessly toward elevating the quality of life and care for people residing in Connecticut's long-term care facilities. He's a terrific and longtime friend to AARP, and we're really excited to have him with us as a guest today. Hello.
Thank you so much for having me, Anna. Pleased to be here.
Great. So, Dan, let's just jump right in and start with the basics. What exactly is an ombudsman and what is the Connecticut Community Ombudsman Program?
Gotcha. Yeah, so certainly, Anna. So an ombudsman is essentially an advocate. It's somebody who works to address concerns raised on behalf of individuals, providing mediation and access to systems that help enhance the quality of care and the quality of life for individuals within a system. So an ombudsman is somebody who safeguards the rights of individuals within a specific setting. And in the context of the Community Ombudsman Program, set to launch in the winter of 2023, our program's focus is in regards to individuals who receive their long-term services and supports in various community settings. Think private homes, residential care homes, or assisted living facilities, and the care that's provided within them. It's about bringing the advocacy to where people live, ensuring that their voices are heard and their rights are protected. We're 100% free, private, and confidential program that holds the individual receiving the care as the primary decision maker and guide on how they'd like to see things done. And we're resident-centered in that direction, in that way. So unlike other agencies, the role of the ombudsman is unique, and that although anyone can raise a concern or a grievance regarding someone's services and their care, our ombudsman staff would only follow up and take any action at all without the explicit direction of the individual who's receiving our services.
Great. Dan, your job title is Community Ombudsman Manager. What does this role entail, and what are your day-to-day responsibilities?
Gotcha. Absolutely, Reggie. As the Community Ombudsman Manager, my role is quite multifaceted. On the day-to-day basis, I will oversee and manage their advocacy efforts of the individuals within the program. This involves coordinating investigations into complaints, working with families and individuals and educating them about their rights, and actively advocating for improvements in the long-term care policies at the systems level as well. And so I'm hands-on with identifying gaps in services, proposing policy enhancements, and ensuring that our program is truly resident-centered, always aiming for the betterment of the care recipients.
That's great. So where did this program come from? You mentioned, new community ombudsman program. So why was this position created, and how is it different from the long-term care ombudsman program that you were a regional manager for?
Yeah, absolutely. And so, great question. The community ombudsman position, I believe, was established to address the unique needs of individuals who receive their long-term services and supports in community settings. So while the Long-Term Care Ombudsman Program primarily focuses on facility-based care, our program extends that advocacy to private homes and other community-based settings. So for example, An individual may be in a nursing facility receiving some care or services, and a long-term care ombudsman could help support them, resolve issues or problems that may arise while they're there. However, once they were set for discharge back to the greater community, they'll have a whole nother list of issues or concerns that may come up, but our hands were tied. We were limited in the support that we could provide to individuals as they return back to the greater community. And this is a challenge because nursing facilities are just one of many places and ways that people can get their care. So to have our hands tied hurt our hearts. And to not be able to advocate for somebody as they return home, we felt, of course, a great disservice to the care recipient. And so as such, the development of this position and program represents an understanding that there must be more comprehensive approaches to how individuals receive their overall well-being and care, acknowledging that quality care extends beyond institutional settings. Let's put it this way. Individuals have the right to receive their long-term services and supports in a setting of their choosing and to be fully informed. Well, the ombudsman is a long-term service and support that works to make sure that individuals are fully informed. To only be able to provide service in a long-term care facility isn't considerate to that fact or supportive of the individuals who want their services in other ways. So for this reason, we feel the ombudsman plays a vital role in prioritizing the person in person-centered care planning. The creation of this new program reflects the state's recognition that navigating the long-term care system can be complex, and obtaining all the necessary information isn't always easily accessible. Its creation signifies a form of vindication in that regard to me. It's being established because it's a vital and necessary program to assist individuals in living their best lives and most authentically.
Dan, what rights does a person have who's receiving long-term care at home or in another community setting? And then following with, what can you do if someone's rights are violated?
Excellent question, Reggie. And so individuals receive their LTSS or long-term services. They have fundamental rights like quality care, autonomy, and the respect for their preferences. For example, some of the rights of a resident residing in a residential care home or an assisted living facility, they have the right to be treated with dignity and respect, to participate in decisions about their care and life's aspects, to be free from chemical or physical restraints, to manage their own finances, or to receive assistance from an individual of their choice. They have the right to raise grievances without the fear of retaliation, which is something we often hear a lot about. So if someone tuning in right now feels that their providers or others are violating their rights, my first suggestion may be to reach out to our Community Ombudsman Program for assistance. We empower and support individuals to voice their concerns with the providers and agencies that serve them, and we work to investigate complaints and work collaboratively to resolve issues in a manner that's considerate and respects each individual's choices.
Great. So one of the things that you mentioned kind of in your introduction is that a role you play is to identify gaps in services and to propose policy improvements that are going to help care recipients. So I know, again, you're relatively new to this particular role, but what are some of the gaps that you're seeing and ideas that you have for improving the overall system of care within these home and community settings?
No, absolutely. And although the program is set to launch, I've been within the sector for a while, and identifying and addressing gaps is at the core of our mission. And some key areas that I think would need attention and would really benefit all individuals within the system. Again, access to information. When you know better, you do better. Better service coordination, and ensuring that cultural competence is provided with care. And so my vision for improvements, at this point encompasses increased accessibility to resources, fostering better communication channels between partners and the individuals that are being served, and implementing those enhanced cultural sensitivity trainings for its caregivers. Because it's about creating more inclusive and responsive environments for people to get their diverse needs met in the setting of their choice, and the ability for people to live a fully authentic life, not just in any traditional sense, but like people often try to make decisions or make assumptions about what may be best for someone. But I think what they forget about that process is that each individual should be heading their own ship. And so I want to make sure that we're inclusive and we're considerate of those person-centered practices, and that all individuals have the rights to live their most authentic selves.
Thanks, Dan. One important thing that we haven't covered yet, but that's very important to everyone, is when and how should people get in touch with you?
Aspect to highlight, Reggie, yes. Particularly, I'll note, as we go to launch the program, it's important for everyone to understand that the scope initially is going to be limited based on available appropriations. However, we want to hear from individuals, every individual, and assist in every way we can. So if you need support or want to voice a concern, please reach out to your regional community ombudsman at 1-866-388-1888. Your input is invaluable, and we're here to help you navigate this complex system and arm you with all the resources you need to make that best decision regarding your care.
Could you repeat that number again, please?
Of course. The Community Long-Term Care Ombudsman Program can be reached by calling 1-866-388-1888. Additionally, you can email us at ltcop@ct.gov. Again, that's ltcop@ct.gov.
Thank you.
Great. And glad you asked that, Reggie. It'd be a shame to put out information about this great resource and then leave people hanging about how to access it. So Dan, we're starting to run a little bit short on time. So I'm wondering if there's anything else you want to make sure that we give you time to share with our viewers before we wrap up the conversation today.
No, absolutely, Anna. And again, as we embark on this journey to launch this super exciting program to help all individuals throughout the state of Connecticut, again, noting it's important to acknowledge that our initial support may be narrow due to budgetary constraints, but I encourage everyone to use this platform to reach out and make their voices heard. If you encounter a challenge or feel that more support is needed, connect with us, because together we can work towards expanding the program's reach and ensuring that your needs are effectively communicated with legislators, with key policymakers and decision makers, because your advocacy is key in making a lasting impact, and we're here to listen and assist to the best of our abilities. I appreciate the opportunity to discuss this new program of ours, and again, you guys are always a great partner in all of the advocacy works that we do. And the Community Ombudsman Program is not just a service, it's a commitment to making a positive impact. And we look forward to serving the greater community and ensuring that the voices of those that we advocate for are truly heard and respected, not just in long-term care facilities, but in all settings, especially community settings of individuals' choices.
Thank you, Dan. That was great to speak with you today and to learn more about the Connecticut Community Ombudsman Program. We really appreciate having you here and on the work that you are doing right now.
Great. And just to kind of recap the conversation, Daniel Beem with us, Connecticut's new Community Ombudsman Manager. AARP's worked really hard in conjunction with a lot of great partners over the years to make sure that people have more options for where they receive their long-term care. And, survey after survey says that people want to stay in their own home and in the community when they need long-term care. So, I really appreciate what you were saying, Daniel, that this represents a commitment to helping people really have as much voice and choice as possible when it comes to their long-term care. So we really appreciate you taking time out of what I know is a very, very busy schedule to be with us today.
Thanks again so much for having me.
Great. Well, thanks to Daniel, and thank you so much to Reggie Stankaitis, one of our excellent AARP Connecticut volunteers. I always love working with Reggie at the Capitol and out in the community. So Daniel, Reggie, thank you both so much for being here today. Again, my name is Anna Doroghazi with AARP Connecticut, and we really appreciate having the opportunity to come to you every other week as part of Coffee and Tea with AARP Connecticut. This program is just one of many, many things that we are doing every day out in the community. If you want to learn more about some of the events that we have coming up, visit aarp.org/CT events to see a little more about what is coming up in your neck of the woods in the next few weeks. If you want to get in touch with us about anything that you heard on today's program, feel free to send us an email at ct@aarp.org. Again, Reggie, Daniel, thank you so much. And we hope that you'll join us again in 2 weeks for another episode of Coffee and Tea with AARP. Thanks and have a great day.
Thank you.